all you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another TNI news video. Now this is Friday right before a long weekend. I'm actually going to be taking a little mini vacation this weekend. I'm going camping. My wife that I've been married to for over 20 years has finally convinced me to go camping with her with full tent and all that good stuff. So I'm going to be doing that this weekend. But before I go, I wanted to get out a final news video for the week. Actually, quite a bit of things have dropped since I last talked to you the other day. And so let's get right into it. And first thing, Mezco, they today announced, or not today, actually yesterday, officially released images and information for their next Batman figure, 112 Collective Batman figure, the Sovereign Supreme Batman figure. So this is the conclusion of their trilogy, as they put it. And this figure is going to have a lot of different hands and batarangs and grapple guns and things like that, like we generally see with these figures. 3 different head sculpts. So you get an older looking Bruce Wayne head sculpt, and you get 2 different mass versions of the figure. And, you know, if you've been collecting these various Batman figures they've been doing for the 112 collection, this is one you're probably going to want to get. Now, this figure went up for pre-order yesterday. I haven't checked to see if it's probably already sold out, or you probably have to go on the wait list or what have you. But should also be available at online e-tailers, so you can probably check Big Bad Toy Store. I haven't looked to see if they actually have this up for pre-order. I think they do, but I won't swear 100%. But anyway, like I said, they have announced this figure, and if you've been collecting the other Batman figures, you'll probably want to add this one to your collection. For you Thundercat fans, Funko has finally announced that they're coming out with their second wave of Savage World or retro style 5.5-inch Thundercat figures. So finally we're getting a Chitara figure. She is going to be in the second wave along with Tigra, and then we're getting Monkeyan and Jackalman. All of them but the Jackalman look pretty good to me. I mean, these are limited articulation, so, you know, these certainly aren't as good as like the classic figures and such. But, you know, if you've been collecting, if you like that retro style, the 5.5-inch old, you know, from the 80s style figure, then you're probably going to want to check these out, especially if you got the first wave. Chitara, you know, like I said, she's always the one that seems to get screwed, not getting made into a figure. So finally, we're getting at least a 5.5-inch Chitara figure. And those should be out soon. I don't have a specific release date, but they are up for pre-order at places like Big Bad Toy Store, and these should also be available at other places like GameStop and Target stores and such that sell the Funko 5.5-inch figures. And then speaking of Thundercats, I just wanted to share with you guys this retro commercial that the folks at Super7 put together for their first wave of Ultimate Classic Thundercat figures. So, you know, if you already have the Mattel versions, I'm still not seeing enough here to warrant buying these again at $45 each. But I do think the commercial is kind of cool. It's made to look like an old 80s toy commercial, so check it out.
Lino and Panthro return with all new Ultimate accessories to protect Third Earth from the evil of Bumra. But Bumra and Jackalman strike back with their own Ultimate gear.
Not even the Sword of Omens can stop me now, Lion-O.
Why don't you go back to your tomb and wash your fancy new cape, Mumra?
I won't stand for this insolence, Thunderfool.
Well then, don't stand at all, Mumra.
We'll get you next time, Thundercat.
The Lino, Panthro, and Mumra each come with their own never-before-seen weapons, hands, and expressions, each sold separately from Super7.
For you Halo fans, we've got official images from 1000 Toys for their new Master Chief figure. This we've seen at various conventions and stuff this past year, but now we're getting the official information. The figure is available for pre-order now. It's going to be released in April 2020. Now the figure, it's a 112 scale figure, but it's said to stand about 7 inches tall. It's pretty articulated. You know, they've been doing various figures, Hellboy and things like that, which all, you know, the articulation has come out looking pretty good. So, you know, I think this figure will be well articulated, seems to be nicely detailed. I really like the gold on the visor for the helmet. I think that comes off looking good. Now the figure is going to have multiple pairs of hands. He's going to come with an energy sword. We'll have the M6D pistol and the MA5B assault rifle and pistol mount parts and such. The SRP on this figure is $125, so it is, you know, because it's an import and everything, it is on the hefty side. But again, if you're into Halo and everything and been looking for a good Master Chief, this is one you'll probably want to check out. Now, a quick update to a story I talked about in the last news video, and it's in regards to those NECA Toys 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures. I told you in the last video how the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive set that was including the Shredder, Splinter, and the 2 foot soldiers was now going to be sold individually at the GameStop stores this year, or actually next year, and that you could actually go into the physical stores and pre-order them now. They're going to cost $24.99 each, and the release date is going to be in February 2020. But the update here is that NECA has made an official announcement on these figures on their social media pages, and they indicated that these would be available on the GameStop website likely later in the week. It is Friday, and last time I checked today, they were not yet up there, so I don't know exactly when they will be available on the website, but it should be very soon. Okay, now switching over to Transformers. So the latest update on Unicron is Hasbro has extended the date for which people can back this particular project. It did not look like it was going to make it to, the 8,000 backers that they said they needed by August 31st. So instead of mothballing it like they did with Cookie Monster, they have actually extended the date. So you now have until October 6th of this year to back this project, so a lot more time. You've got over a month now to actually finish putting together the money if you want to try and get this one. And right now as I'm filming this video, it looks like they are up to 5,536 backers out of the 8,000 that they need. So I do think now it has a decent chance of getting fully funded, now that Hasbro's extended it and giving people enough chance to actually save up the money to get this one. Now on the flip side, and I don't normally talk about third-party figures, but I did want to point out this company called Zeta Toys. They're doing their own Unicron, and they'd been teasing it for a while. I think a lot of people were wondering, should they wait and get this third-party version or get the Hasbro version or what have you. So they went on essentially the same day that Hasbro announced they were extending their date for their Haslab project. This company went on and released images showing the full Unicron. Still unpainted and everything, but just to give you an idea of what it's going to look like. Now, the big thing to me about this, it looks pretty good. I mean, I don't know why they have the images so dark. It's almost like they're trying to hide something here. But, overall, I think it looks good. Head sculpt looks pretty good. But the big thing to note here is this one is much smaller than the Hasbro one. So those of you who are complaining that the Hasbro one wasn't big enough, I don't think you're going to be happy with this one. This one's only 18 inches tall. Now, I would hope that means, even though we haven't gotten any pricing detail, I hope that means it is going to be cheaper than the Hasbro one. So if you are on a tight budget and you still want a cool looking Unicron, then I guess this might be an option for you. But otherwise, and I know I've been reading comments online and some people swear this is so much better looking than the Hasbro one. I don't really agree. The robot mode is pretty good. The head sculpt looks a little more movie accurate to me, but I don't think the Hasbro one looks bad. And then, the size, if you're going to spend anywhere, over $100 or something for something like this, I'd say go for the Gusto and get the big sized one. But that's just me. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. And it looks like this is the other advantage of this one. It is going to be released sooner. It looks like they're saying that theirs is going to be out in December, so at the end of this year. So even though we haven't even seen finished painted product images yet, they're basically saying they're going to have this out by the end of the year. And again, no pricing information. So if this is more expensive or as expensive as the Hasbro one, then I don't see any reason why you'd want to get this one. But if it's cheaper, then like I said, and you're on a limited budget, then that might be a reason why you go this route as opposed to the Hasbro one. Okay, and then switching over to Star Wars. So I do have a little bit of Star Wars news for you guys on toys. First thing though, I just wanted to share, I thought this was funny. These are basically Coke bottles, special Coke bottles that were designed for the Disney Galaxy's Edge events at the Disney parks. The one in Florida just opened this week, even though there is a hurricane heading away. So it looks like their grand weekend opening plans might end up getting changed. And anyone that's in the path of that hurricane, my dad lives down in Florida, so he's not in the direct path. He lives on the other side of the coast. Though, as I understand it, the storm could come in on the Atlantic side, go across the state, and then go out in the Gulf, re-power up, and then come back. So we're keeping a close eye on it. But everyone, in Florida or in the path of this thing, do be safe this weekend. But anyway, I had to laugh about this story. So apparently airlines are outlawing these people from bringing these Coke containers, these special Galaxy Edge soda drinks onto, packing them up into, planes, even if they're empty. and people I'm sure are keeping them for collector items and stuff. But apparently they look too much like bombs, and I mean, obviously, when you look at it, they look like the thermo detonators that we saw in Return of the Jedi. So that's what they're supposed to look like. But I thought it was kind of funny that they've been outlawed from airlines, and you can't bring them. If you fly out to Disney to go to the park, you're not going to be able. You're going to have to like ship them home or something. So I don't know. I just kind of thought that was funny. There's a big Lego announcement coming next week for Star Wars. I know what the set is, but I'm not allowed to tell you. It is an impressive looking set. So, and I will tell you that it's based on the original trilogy. So, this is going to be revealed in full on September 5th. So if you're a Lego fan and into Star Wars, do check Jedi Insider. I mean, it'll be out. Multiple sites will be covering it, but we'll have it up. We'll have the news up as soon as the embargo is lifted on September 5th. Okay, and then this final bit of Star Wars news. So this comes from basically this overseas retailer put these out with this Damning Toys website. Again, they're a toy retailer overseas, and it looks like they actually have it in hand, so that's kind of funny. But it's a Spirit Yoda figure. So they did Obi-Wan, a Force Spirit Obi-Wan a couple years ago, back in 2017. Here in the United States, it was released as a Walgreens exclusive. So you can see now they're doing the same thing with the Yoda figure. So it's got same kind of deal with the packaging. You've got the blue background, and it looks like this is definitely going to be a store exclusive, at least here in the United States. You can see there's no numbering on the packaging. So that's always an indication of a store exclusive. Now, you might think that this would be Walgreens, and it might be, I don't know, but the listing for this figure actually showed up on the Walmart website, which you can view through BrickSeek a couple months ago. So that might be more of an indication that this will end up being a Walmart exclusive. Again, I don't know 100%. I'm just speculating here based on the listing on the Walmart website that it would be a Walmart, but definitely because there's no numbering on the package, expect this to be some kind of store exclusive figure. And because of the whole Force Friday, I wouldn't expect this figure to be released here in the United States at least until October. Okay, and then finally from Marvel, I've got a couple things for you. So first of all, this week, Tomasi Nations released official images and details for their next SH Figuarts Avengers Endgame figure, and it is going to be Warrior Thor, which is pretty cool. They're the first company to give us this version of Thor in the scale. Hasbro's doing a Bro Thor figure, but again, this is the first time they've not yet announced they're doing Thor in his actual costume. So we're getting the overweight Thor with his costume from Tomasi Nations for the SH Figuarts line. Now the figure is said to stand about 6.4 inches tall, so it's not really going to be in perfect scale if you wanted to try and get this for your Marvel Legends. It's going to be a little bit on the short side. I mean, it should do okay. I mean, Thor is a taller character, so it's just, he's going to probably be the same height as your normal Marvel Legend figure and shorter than what a Marvel Legend Thor figure would generally be. And he's not chalked, doesn't seem to be chalked with a lot of accessories. You get his hammer and the Stormbreaker, but and then some multiple pairs of hands, but that looks to be about it. The face sculpt looks actually pretty good on this one. So I think I'll probably end up getting this one because I'm sure Hasbro will get around to eventually giving us this version of Thor, but who knows how long it'll take. And I've been getting a lot of the SH Figuarts Endgame figures, Captain America, and well, I waited on the Iron Man figure because I'm not going to get Iron Man until they give us one with like multiple accessories. I'm not going to like buy 3 different versions of Iron Man for Endgame like they tried to do with the Infinity War version. So I'm waiting for an updated version with some accessories for the Endgame Iron Man. But I did get Cap, and I will probably get Thor as well. Okay, and then the final bit of news I have for you guys, it is a rumor at this point. It has not been officially confirmed by Hasbro. The source that sends me this information has proven to be fairly reliable in the past, which is why I am presenting it to you, but I don't have any kind of official confirmation. So again, do treat this as a rumor at this time. But the first part of this is it looks like that gray Marvel Legend Hulk figure that showed up on the Amazon Mexico website that I've talked about before. I continue to get indications this is basically going to be a fan channel exclusive, so you don't have to worry about, if you missed it on the Amazon Mexico website, you are going to have an opportunity to still get the figure, and it should be pretty much available anywhere that sells Marvel Legends online. I think maybe GameStop will carry it, and and Best Buy. It's called a fan channel exclusive, but some see wider distribution than others. Like, I think the Archangel figure that was recently released and the AIM 2-pack, those were fan channel exclusives, but you could get them at Best Buy and stuff as well. So I think the Hulk is going to fall in that same boat. Now it looks like the Hulk is going to be, because it's a bigger figure, it's going to be more expensive than the regular figures. It looks like the price on the Hulk is going to be, here in the US, it's going to be about $35. So again, it's going to be a little more expensive because it is a bigger figure. But the big news here, I pretty much already knew this was going to be a fan channel exclusive, but the big reveal here is that it looks like the figure is going to be released on October 1st. So, and I don't know if it'll go up for pre-order before that, or if it'll just go up listed for purchase at the same time it's actually available. Being the Amazon Mexico website already had these in stock, since the limited people who were able to buy it from there have already gotten it, it seems like it'll probably just go up for pre-order and be available for purchase that day, which again looks like it's going to be October 1st. And then the other bit of news I have for you is there's another figure that looks like it's going to be released at the same time. So a number of these fan channel exclusive figures that we've been seeing are actually slated for release on October 1st or thereabouts. Now it may vary from country to country and place to place. So, some places might have it on October 1st. It's not like necessarily everywhere is immediately going to have it on October 1st. But that's really the target date where you want to kind of expect to see these available for purchase. But anyway, but there's a figure that we've never seen before that's not been officially announced that looks like is also going to be in the works, and it is listed as a retro Deadpool figure. Now I have no other details on this figure other than that. I can speculate that perhaps that means, if they're calling it retro, it means it's going to be based on his costume in his first appearance, New Mutants 98. They probably would just take one of the existing Deadpool figures that they've recently done and repaint it to look like the costume that he wore in issue 98 of New Mutants. Now, the funny thing about that, though, is that costume actually, if you look at the cover of that issue and then look at the interiors of that issue, the costume actually is a little bit different, primarily with like the gloves and stuff. On the cover, I think they're all red, and then in the inside of the issue, I think he's wearing wrist bracelets, and the glove, I can't remember if the wrist bracelets are black and the gloves are red, or the wrist bracelets are red and the gloves are black. I think that's what it is inside the comic. So I don't know if this is in fact is supposed to be based on his first appearance. I don't know if they're going to go with the cover of New Mutants 98 with the all red gloves and such, or if they're going to go with the interiors. I think the interiors look better, so hopefully that's the version they go with. And the markings are different. I mean, if you're wondering, if you're not familiar, it's very similar to the other costumes that we've seen. It's just the black markings are a little bit different on the costume. The eyes look a little bit different, and then, like I said, things like the gloves, and he's got different thigh holster or whatever around his thighs. Back then they just randomly drew stuff like that on the figures, and so that's really the big differences. So easily they could take an existing Deadpool figure and repaint it and add a few things, a different belt or what have you, and give you the first appearance Deadpool. And that's my best guess of what this figure is going to be. And I'm guessing it'll be on a vintage card back, maybe an X-Men vintage card back, I don't know, but I would guess that it will come on one of those vintage card backs, since it'll essentially be part of the 80th anniversary, Marvel Comics 80th anniversary line. And when we get more details, or if I get more details on it, we'll be sure to post about it on Marvelous News, and I'll probably talk about it in a future video. But again, look for both of those figures to likely be released on or around October 1st. Okay, so that's it for today. Hope you guys have a great long weekend. I'm not even going to remind you about the 2 contests going on Marvelous News and Toy News International for $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. However, I do have links to both of those contest details in the video description below, so you should check them out. And as always, subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. You can follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I have links to those in the video description as well. Have a great long weekend, and until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.